That's right. Bombed about Massey. What are you talking about, Michelle? What's up, Marion County? And for those of you that are not in Alabama, I'm in Alabama. So if you just hear me say a county or a city, and I don't say a state behind it, I'm talking about Alabama. Kentucky race APAC spent $30 million on the opponent. Now, is this real or is this the fake APAC spent a lot of money on Jared Hudson that nobody can prove? So, or fake like Alabama Power paid off Nick Hudson. I did finally figure out where that was at least coming from, but it's ignorant. If you own, if you run a nonprofit, are you going to turn down donation money from any legally owned organization? If you will, then your nonprofit's not going to last long. So apparently last year, Alabama Power gave $10,000 or something like that to Nick Hudson's nonprofit, which is a nonprofit that fights and that goes after and fights child predators. And everyone is saying that he's paid off by Alabama Power. First off, $10,000 is not getting you anywhere in a Senate race. Will I cover anything from Lauderdale County? Are you talking about the elections tonight? We can cover whatever. The biggest one, well, the biggest one that most people on here are going to be following is the Walker County Sheriff election. That's definitely the biggest one I'm following tonight. It's just it's just, we've been fighting this for over a year now. And then my next biggest one is the Alabama Senate race. But there are a lot more. There are a lot that are extremely important. Hold on, I've been getting numbers and I hadn't even been paying attention. I don't think. You got to be kidding me. Is Priscilla on here? Is anyone that's at Jason Aiken's watch party on the live? Because I'm getting pictures right now that Alan Estelle is at Jason Aiken's watch party. What's wrong with that guy? So Alan Estelle was a previous candidate for Walker County, Alabama sheriff. Oh, Nick Smith's losing big so far. Still got a long way to go. Definitely still got a long way to go. So we can't get cocky or anything, but these numbers are looking really good so far. Very good. I think this is going to be a good night. But Alan Estelle was a previous candidate for the Walker County Sheriff, and he had a bunch of us fooled as far as thought he was a good guy. Then he, out of the blue, dropped out of the race. Says that where he works told him he was either had to drop out of the race or get fired. Then the next thing we know, he's literally out campaigning for Nick Smith. It was the weirdest thing ever. I mean, and now tonight he's at Jason Aiken's watch party. Or is this a watch party? I need to confirm that this is a watch party for Jason Aiken's, but I thought it was. Now, I'll tell you this. Wow, that's really loud for me. If you have never ran for an office or never been part of a big campaign, there is not a election day like this is the weirdest day ever because it's the most stressful day you've ever had, but also at the same time, the most relieving day you've ever had, if that makes sense. Because you're like, okay, it's finally over. We can finally, what's done is done now. We don't have to worry about that. But then at the same time, obviously, it's extremely stressful. But it's very strange. Update for Walker County. We're around 10% reporting, so we still got a long way to go. But right now, Jason Aikens is up a lot. He's up really. Nick is in last place by far. Nick has, again, this is just, we're around 10% reporting, so we still got a long way to go. But as of right now, Nick Smith 291, J.C. Poe 567, and Jason Aikens 740. So again, a long way to go, but looking good so far. The corner race, Trent McCluskey's looking really good. He's at 12-14, and the famous Danielle Calloway, Miss Trainer herself, is at 282. I don't think that lying is working out for her. Well, no, nobody's won yet. We're only at about 10% reporting as far as in Walker County right now. But as of right now, Nick is in last place and Jason Akins is in first. And I want to remind y'all let me pull that up. I want to show y'all how much each candidate has spent on this election as far as the Walker County election. And now if somebody's interested in another election, let us know, and we'll keep an eye on it too. So this was as of last week. Let's see. As of last week, Nick Smith had spent $75,600. J.C. Poe had spent $44,800. And Jason Akins, who is in the lead right now, who is the favorite, $4,400. Now, this is very troubling, as I've said the last few days, that this much big money is wanting Nick Smith to win so bad. That is very troubling. So, first step, get Nick Smith out of office. I feel very confident that's going to happen tonight. But we still have a long way to go there because there's big money in that. And we're going to – everybody that's given a decent amount of money to Nick Smith, get ready because my entire team is going to be in looking into you for a while. We're going to find the dirt because there's no way in hell anybody would give $10,000 to Nick Smith unless they were in on something. No way. And we're gonna dig, and if we can't get law enforcement to do anything, we'll at least call them out and embarrass them. Oh, thank you, Ann. Well, I hope it turns out like Lonoke County's primaries did. If it does, then we'll be in good shape. No, I don't think Vic is running again. Also, it would be hard for him to run from prison. I have faith that he will end up in prison. This is going to be close for Walker County Sheriff between J.C. Poe and Akins. Nick Smith's out. We're at 38% reporting, and Nick Smith has 808 votes. Jason Akins has 1,877. J.C. Poe has 1,435. Nick Smith's out. It'll probably end up being a runoff between Poe and Akins, which is way better than Nick winning. I'll take that. So now hopefully Akins can win it outright where there's not a runoff. And that's definitely possible, but we'll just have to see. But we're at 38%. Nick's done. They still trying to charge the guy from Lonoke County. Yeah, and I mean he's still going to trial as of now. It's crazy. I wonder what Nick will do after he loses. He'll probably start a podcast. I'm only halfway joking. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried. I don't think it'd work out well for him. It would be entertaining, probably. No, I mean I'm 99.9% positive that A Post is going to pull Nick's certification. So he's done with law enforcement. Oh, let me see. I got so caught up in the sheriff race. Can you see if you can find the numbers on the Senate? I got somebody there supposed to text me, but I ain't got a text from them yet. This has always been one of my favorite nights, but tonight is just like 10 times better as far as excitement. Somebody said it's like watching a Bama game. This is better than to me, and that's saying a lot. The article you read didn't have Jared looking too good. Yeah, I wouldn't pay much attention to an article. Jared has a good chance of winning. I'm not saying he definitely will, obviously. He has a really good chance, though. Because also remember, as far as primaries, with at least 3 candidates, there's always a good chance for a runoff, too. So even if he finishes in second, there's still a good chance that we'll have a runoff. Cam Hunt is leading Jay Jones right now in Lee County. I have gotten interested in the Morgan County sheriff election. When I learned, and I'm gonna cover this story. We may talk about it tonight, but I learned something just yesterday. I wish I would have heard about the story before. Which I say that I went back through some messages and some people had told me about it before. I just get so much; it's hard to keep up with everything. But I'm not impressed with the current sheriff of Morgan County. He hired a former school teacher that was kicked out of being a teacher because he was a child predator, and the sheriff there hired him to recruit for the jail. It's not a good look. Tells me all I need to know about that sheriff. I would like to see Anna Franklin win in Morgan County, but I've not kept up with it enough to know what kind of chance we're looking at. You better have Monica. Senate race is going to be close. It's going to be close. But we're only, the numbers I got so far are just around 7% reporting. As of now, Barry Moore is leading, but Jared Hudson is only 10,000 votes behind him. And again, we're only talking about 7% reporting, so there's still no way of knowing. But that's close as of now. Absolutely, Mary. Or Marie. Is it Marie or Mary? Marie. I'm sorry. Jefferson County Sheriff gave an honorary badge to a convicted felon and drug addict. Now, that could be misleading, and I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm just, first things that come to my mind. Because I don't write somebody off just because they are a convicted felon and was a prior addict. They could have turned their entire life around and be saving the world right now, and so that would make a big difference. Now, if they're not, then that makes a difference, obviously, but just that could be misleading. Regina, I think Walker County is going to do that. Monica, that would be the best honor I've ever had, is if Nick Smith loses and he blames it on me. That would be the greatest, one of the greatest honor I've ever had. That would literally make my year. Although I know in reality, it's definitely far from, it would definitely far from just be me. There's people that are much bigger than me that's been calling him out too. So, but if he believed that in his head, that would my job's accomplished, done. Have you a "You Are Welcome" Nick T made? That's a great idea. Do I have any idea who's? Are you asking who's winning Jefferson County Sheriff or who is running? I think the two main candidates, or maybe more, but the two main candidates in Jefferson County is the current sheriff, and then there's his main opponent is a former deputy that I've heard good things about, and I'm not a fan of their current sheriff. Now, please understand, because people take this and run with it. Just because I say I'm not a fan of somebody does not mean I think they're corrupt. It's not everybody. So I'm not saying he's corrupt. I have no evidence of that whatsoever. I'm just, there's certain things he has done I don't particularly care for. This is literally the least shocking thing I've ever heard in my life. The fact that anybody, if you're sitting there, and I'm just being honest, I'm just spilling facts here. If you're sitting there and you truly thought anyone else had a chance at winning the governor's seat in Alabama other than Tommy Tuberville, you really don't understand politics at all. And it's not necessarily a knock. A lot of people don't understand politics at all. That's okay. I'm not saying you're dumb or anything. It's just you don't understand politics. But no, he has taken that, which again, that was a no-brainer, not shocking in any way whatsoever. So we're at well over 50% now, 57%. So 57% in Walker County, and Jason Akins is up 2,800. J.C. Poe is at 2,100, and Nick Smith is at 1,400. Nick's done. He's out. But like I said earlier, it's probably going to be a runoff. It'll end up being a runoff between Akins and Poe, that's a victory for everybody in that county, for sure. So we'll get through this one, and then we'll push really hard for Akins in the runoff. I do feel pretty confident with Akins in the runoff. Because most people I know that like Nick hate J.C. Poe. And most people I know that like J.C. Poe hate Nick. So I think it'll be hard for a lot of people that voted for Nick to vote for J.C. Poe, and that's if they even vote. So I feel pretty confident in Akins in the runoff. And again, still a small chance that we won't have to worry about that, but right now it's looking like we probably will. And we can call. I feel confident in calling the Walker County coroner that McCluskey has taken that one. So Callaway's lies got her. Yeah, you're exactly right, Vicky. The runoff, it'll just be if we can talk enough people into actually going and voting. What you got out of Lee County? The percentage required, so there's no runoff. If it would be the difference. So say if Akins beats Poe, and there's a 2,000, like if he beats him by 2,000 votes, if Nick Smith has less than 2,000 votes, then Akins wins. There's no runoff. If he has more than 2,000 votes, then there would be a runoff. Does that make sense? So in Lee County, Jay is leading by a slim margin. Nick sure thought he had this. He'll still think he had it in his head. Hey, thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate that. I don't know McCluskey at all, but there's no way in hell that I would have voted for that girl, the Callaway girl. I mean, she blatantly lied about her training and then was dumb enough. She has the IQ that Nick Smith has. I mean, they have about the same sense, because then she was dumb enough to make this big post about how she does have the training. Like, that just shows her ignorance, that she thought she could just make that post and people were going to take her word for it, when it's so easy that if she actually had the training, she would just posted the certificate. Like, that's a no-brainer. If you have the training, post the certificate, and then nobody can argue with you. She never posted any certificates, even though in the comments, every other comment at least was, well, then show us the certificate, then we'll believe you. And she never did. I mean, because she hasn't taken the training. I had to walk by Nick on my way in to vote. If I lived in that county and I voted and I had to walk by him, I would have looked at him and said, good luck. Dead serious. Has the Jasper box came in? Let me see. I don't know if we know which boxes have came in. Yeah, I don't know which boxes have come in. I just know we're 27 boxes out of 47 have come in. Or is it 47? Yeah, 27 out of 47 are in. What? Yeah. All right, we've got an update. %73%, and Akins is up. He's at 4,500. JC Poe is at 3,800, and Nick is at 23. So Jason is going to pull this off, but again, as of right now, it would be a runoff. But main thing, Nick Smith's he's done. He's done. So. And yeah, McCluskey he's definitely won the corner. So that one's done. He's got 76% of the votes with 73% of the reporting in. So he's won that for sure. It's looking good for Amendment 1, too. That's a big one, too. That's Aniah's Law expansion. Looking real good for that so far. Still got some way to go, but we're at 16% reporting. And Yes has got 80% of the vote so far, so that's looking really good. I hate this for our buddy Dale Dees. Poor guy, he's only got 2% of the votes. Only 2%. That guy, that poor guy, he legit kept saying, like, he was saying yesterday he was a viable candidate. Again, him and Nick Smith must drink the same water. I think maybe the next round of results we get, we can probably, hopefully. No, I'm not going to jinx anything. Let me calm down for a second. I forget we're talking about the county where literally the craziest things I've ever in my life seen or heard of happened. So let me calm down for a second. I won't get too ahead of myself. Yeah, Angela, Aniah's mother, she has definitely been a little worried about the expansion passing, which I don't understand. And I've asked people that said they were voting no on it, and I've yet to get, nobody's answered me yet. But I would legit. So if anyone on here voted no for Amendment 1, I'm just curious. Like, I'm not going to dog you or anything. I'm curious of why you would vote no on it. Who won Walker County? Well, we don't know yet, but it's safe to. I think we're pretty safe to say that Nick's he's out. Jason Akins is probably going to pull it out, but I think it's going to end up being a runoff between Akins and JC Poe. But that's I'll take that any day. Plus, I think if Akins wins, in the primary, then I feel extremely confident he'll take the runoff. Oh yeah, I'm saying it now. Nick Smith is out. That's done. That's official. Per me, but that's official. He's out. The Senate race is going to be close. It as of now, it looks like, but I don't know what counties are in. Like I don't know, so that could make a big difference. But my prediction as far as the Senate race is it's going to come down that I think Barry Moore is going to take it overall, but I think it's going to be extremely close between Steve Marshall and Hudson of who comes in second, and I think there'll definitely be a runoff. So again, I'll take that. So I think, but it's going to be very, very close between Hudson and Marshall to get in the runoff. Yeah, Nick's done. He can go home. Well, I mean, Nick would still be in office until January. The governor's race, oh, it's over. Tuberville took that by far. That one's over. I'm so glad he won't pop up on my feed again. But yeah, Alabama Governor Tuberville, he's taking that. That's all. They've already declared that, which again, that shouldn't shock anybody. Walker County, Jason Akins is up. He's probably going to take it, but it probably will end up being a runoff between J.C. Poe and Akins. But Nick Smith's done. Walker County corner, McCluskey has taken that by far. That one's over. He'll be the new corner. The U.S. Senate race, way too close to call. Because they're still under 20% reporting. And there's only 4,000 votes there's only 4,000 vote difference between Marshall and Hudson right now in the Senate. Chad Whaley won Coleman County Sheriff. Yeah, I haven't kept up with that one at all. I don't know anything much about him, which is a good thing because I haven't heard anything about him, so that's a good thing. Andy said Nick can start selling baby strollers now. Might have to change the paint colors. Whoever the new sheriff is ends up being in Walker County, if they don't let me come up there and get a photo of me acting like I'm painting the inside of the jail, I'm going to be mad. And that will be my profile picture for all of my platforms. Yeah, Nick is out. Nick is done. Puckett won Morgan County. Oh, that sucks. Oh, wow. The Lee County race is for sheriff is close. Cam Hunt leads by less than 10 votes. Danielle, are you saying I told you you were lying about something? Or am I misreading that? That's not what I meant to do. Oh, I'm interested in the attorney general race. Do we got an update on that? So, Attorney General, we're only at 22% reporting so far, so still a long way to go. But, uh, wow, Catherine Robertson is up pretty big. Which, again, we're still a long way to go, so that could definitely change. But as of now, Robertson is up pretty big. Casey is in last. Yeah, Casey's not going to win. She's only taken 2 counties so far. That's kind of surprising, honestly. Now, Doug Jones has taken the Democrat primary. But, I mean, Tuberville literally does not have to campaign at all for the general election. I mean, he's going to win that. Hey, our boy Jamel Brown got 7,200 votes so far. 7,200 people voted for that guy so far. $7,200 people. That's concerning. Oh, Jones won't be the governor. No. Nah, Democrats not going to win a big election like that in Alabama. Like, legit. Tuberville literally does not have to campaign at all. That one's, I mean, he'll be the next governor. No, we're talking about, Diane, we're talking about a lot of elections. Our main focus right now is on the Walker County Sheriff, but we're about to be able to call that one. But we're talking about all of them. That is one way to put it, Denise. It is definitely interesting. Somebody asked about Fayette County. Yerby's going to take that one. So Byron Yerby. That's the current sheriff there, isn't it? I didn't realize John Samaniego in Shelby County had an opponent this year. Whoa, the lieutenant governor race is, I mean, it is close. Barely a 1% difference in Wes Allen and John Wall with 30% in. Lieutenant governor would be the spot to have. Anybody know what the lieutenant governor in Alabama does? No, you don't. Nobody does. It's been like an inside joke for years. Literally, nobody knows what they do. Blowing them up about corruption in Clark County. Why haven't you told me anything about? You haven't told me anything about corruption in Clark County, have you? The pedo defender running for Senate, he's got 2% of the votes. Where am I finding my numbers? For Walker County, I've got people at some of the watch parties. The rest of them, I don't know. My team's sending them to me. Where's the main place? See, I got NBC News pulled up right now, looking at their lieutenant governor. But they don't have any, I don't think they have any of the local elections in yet on there. So in Tuscaloosa County right now, at 30% of precincts in, Barry Moore and Jared Hudson have the exact same amount of votes so far there. Both of them have 2,246 votes. That's pretty crazy. I'm telling you, it's not looking horrible for Jared so far, for Jared Hudson. He is So far, he's taken quite a few counties. Again, I think Moore is going to take it overall, but there's going to be it's a really good chance it'll be a runoff between Moore and who comes in second. And again, that's very close between Marshall and Hudson right now. But we're still a long way to go. I mean, it could end up completely different in that one. Walker County Sheriff right now, Nick Smith's done. He's out. Jason Akins is leading. Akins is going to take it, but it's going to end up. It'll be a runoff between J.C. Poe and Akins, but Nick's out. And we're at what 80%. Yeah, 85% of the precincts in Walker County. Jason Akins is at 5,021. J.C. Poe's at 4,100, and Nick Smith's at 2,500. So the good news is I can call that official. Nick Smith is done. Kimmy Kitten is live. Yeah, she has me blocked, so I can't watch Kimmy Kitten. No clue why. Absolutely no clue why. will the powers that be still pursue criminal charges against Nick after? Like I've said from the beginning, I'm confident that Nick Smith will be federally indicted. I just don't know when or how serious of an indictment it will be. Smith documentary coming up on Netflix. We're working on an all-out documentary. I don't know how big it'll be, but I'm putting a lot of time into it. So I'm literally slowly, like definitely a long way to go, but no, I'm literally putting together a documentary on Walker County. Yeah, Yerby won Fayette County. Do I think Nick will take this election out on the citizens of Walker County? Hell, he's already taken everything he can out on the citizens. Yeah, I think it'll be a runoff between Jason and Poe. Thank you, Danielle. You're awesome. I really appreciate that. Y'all think if Nick goes to federal prison, he'll let me come in and interview him while he's in prison? No, this is exactly why I was frustrated with J.C. Poe for even running. Is, as I said before, I knew if he didn't run, then Jason Akins would 100% have been the next sheriff. No question about it. So all J.C. Poe did by coming in is screw things up. I mean, he's this is nothing personal towards the man, but he is way, way, way too old to be a sheriff. Like it's not even a question. I tell you one thing I will not be doing when I'm J.C. Poe's age. Running for a sheriff. It doesn't even make sense. It's actually kind of sad. Nick looks kind of, I can't read that, but I've heard things. No lie, I've heard things. Now I have no idea if there's anything to them, and I'm not going around spreading that because I mean, again, I have no idea if there's anything to them, but I've heard things. Talk to anyone that went to high school with Nick Smith. Dead serious. Talk to anyone that went to high school with him. So far, every single person I've ever spoken with that went to high school with him says the same things about him. Nah, Tuberville doesn't have a residency issue. He's been our senator. I mean, he qualified to run, so I mean that's if he qualified to run, then there's nothing you can do about it. So if anybody wanted to challenge that, they would have had to do it before the election. I mean, we may not have to have a runoff if Aikens can get over 50%, then there won't be a runoff no matter what. It's like now that I'm looking at it, I mean, it could end up being close because we're at 85% reporting and he's at 42% of the votes. So if he can get over 50%, then there won't be a runoff. We're going to be about as close in the Senate race too. Barry Moore could end up with over 50%. It's going to be close. God, I hope not, though. It's not looking great. It's not looking great, though, at the moment for that one. And it's been a while since we've gotten the last update. In 2002, I was in the 11th grade. I'm not that old. Who started a prayer ritual for Nick Smith's campaign? Kelly said she went to the watch party. It was awesome. Doing the Jed Clampett shuffle. You know, there's people on here that probably have never even heard of Jed Clampett. Probably some of the ones on my team. Hey, thanks for coming on, Gene. Hope you have a great night. If states could hurt right now, somebody check on Katie. I don't know what that means. Strange. They probably never shot at some food either. Of course not. They definitely have never been out hunting for food and then struck oil. For you young kids, that's how the Clampetts got rich. Are we all meeting up at the square and doing the Thriller dance? I'll leave the dancing to y'all. I don't think you want to see me dance. Did I just reference the Beverly Hillbillies? Or somebody on TikTok referenced them and brought them up. I was just repeating them. I do remember when the movie came out, the Beverly Hillbillies movie, and it was like I thought it was the coolest movie ever. Like I loved that movie. Like I remember where I was when I first watched it, like everything. It's weird. I don't know why. But I remember just that was the coolest movie. And I was in North Carolina. My uncle lived in North Carolina at that time. And I had gone up there for a few weeks for the summer. And he had like a big TV and surround sound. I'd never like watched a movie with surround sound and stuff. And that was the first, and we watched that movie there. It was just awesome. It was a good movie. Naught plus naught equals naught. Hey, Roxana. My kids tell me I talk worse than Ellie Mae. When I had a crush on her when I was a teenager, when I was a young teenager. I thought I thought someone was calling him Hollywood Akins. Katie was replying back to the screen name Hollywood, and I just glanced up and saw Hollywood Akins is winning by 1,100 votes. I thought he had a new nickname. Well, Nancy, I can tell you Nick Smith will not be the next sheriff. That is for sure. And if it all goes extremely well, we won't have to worry about a runoff, but that's going to be really close. And the last update I got, we were at like 85% reporting, and that was like 45 minutes ago. We were getting them a lot more regularly. Yeah, I think somebody was asking about Toby. I think she's at the one of the watch parties. I think she's at Akins' watch party. So according to Cody, he says Cam Hunt won Lee County Sheriff. That's official. No, if there's a runoff, that'll be next month. June. Let's see what. Hold on, let me see. That'll be June 16th if there is a runoff. But again, it's hopefully there's not. We just need Akins is at 42% of the votes. If he can hit 50, then there won't be a runoff. So it's going to be close. But most importantly, Smith is out. Smith's not going to be in a runoff for nothing, so we don't have to worry about him. The general election will be in November, but the runoff would be June the 16th. You hope the new sheriff continues to take down drug. I hate to break it to you, but trust me, Nick Smith has not taken down an actual drug dealer. That's one of the problems. Literally, I mean, he hasn't. When I tell you there are major, legit dealers in that county, major. They have never made a big bust. It's there. Trust me. I've seen it before. It's there. Gloria, I have a legit question because this is not personal towards JC Poe. If someone's breaking into your house in the middle of the night and you call 911, do you really want JC Poe responding to your house to save your life? And again, it's not personal towards him. He's way too old. He can't be a sheriff. He's way too old. You cannot be the sheriff of a county that size, that age. You can't. Now, he'd be a lot better than Nick Smith, but he would be sitting behind his desk. And that Walker County's too small. The sheriff's office is too small for a sheriff to be sitting behind his desk all the time. They got to be out kicking indoors, too. And literally, I mean, JC Poe's way too old. That's a young man's job. You can't do that at his age. Gloria, JC Poe can't even run. That's what I'm telling you. He's way too old. No, if Poe wins and then can't finish his term, the governor would appoint someone to take his place. But no, I bet $500 to anybody right now. JC Poe can't run a mile. Actually, I bet $1,000. Anybody want to bet? Again, and it's not personal towards him. There's no way he could do that job correctly at his age. And why would you want to do that job at his age? Again, it's kind of sad. It's a stressful job. He's like 70. He's at least 70, isn't he? How old is he? And that's the thing. You don't even have to know how old he is. You just look at it like he looks old, and that's the problem. Because are there some 70-year-olds that I would trust with that? Absolutely. Few, but there's definitely some. He's 72. Okay, we got this is comical. We've got 70, 71, and 72. Oh, and you are just throwing around numbers. Does anybody actually know how old he is? 72. Anyway, but he looks old too, so he's not in good health. I mean, he's not in the best health. He's 40. Hinkle said he's 46. Rough life. Hey, that's what law enforcement will do to you. When I got out, I immediately lost 10 years. My age dropped 10 years at least. No, I absolutely think Poe has the knowledge. He seems like an intelligent man. I mean, honestly, I liked his answers in the debate, but he's just too old. Guess I didn't vote for Trump. See, that's the problem. A sheriff that job is way different than the president's job. Way different. The president is not out running, literally kicking in doors. We're talking about apples and oranges, literally here. And that's what. And I understand everybody doesn't understand that. I get that. I'm not downing you or dogging you or anything. But I mean, I've done the job. I've done the job for almost 18 years. It's rough on you. I mean, I'm 43, and I mean, and I mean, I have questions for somebody that's that old that wants to be a sheriff. That's just, again, that's crazy. That's sad. It's sad. Like that means you literally you don't want a life at all, and I don't understand that. At some point, you need to. No one should ever be in law enforcement at 70 years old. No one. It shouldn't even be allowed. Yeah, there's some 70-year-olds that are in shape, top shape, and yeah, but not many. But you can look at him. I mean, he's not in great health. I mean, it's an easy way to tell how healthy somebody is you look at them. But you take a 72-year-old, so he would be 76 in 4 years. So no matter what, you would have to be looking for a new sheriff in 4 years. Why do you want to do that? What can a sheriff really truly accomplish in 4 years? Nothing. They can't even really get going good in 4 years. So, I mean, and there's no way he could run past. Again, I would highly doubt he makes it through a term, and that's my problem. Why do you want to chance and leave it in the hands of the governor of who your next sheriff is? You don't want to do that. And if he's not going to win, but if he were, that's what you would be. That's what you would be having to worry about. And I just think that's crazy. But no, I'm not afraid to say it, that it's not a job for a 70-year-old. Gloria, the fact that you don't understand the difference between the president and a sheriff's job troubles me. Again, do you understand that physically you can be in a wheelchair and be the president? There's nothing wrong with that. We've literally had that happen before. And there's nothing wrong with that. All you I'm not a political expert, I get paid as a law enforcement expert, to be honest with you. So, I mean, a lot of people do consider me an expert in law enforcement. I mean, some people pay me pretty good money for that. So, but again, I mean, it's just, but the president just needs their brain. That's it. That's all they have to have. The sheriff, the fact that I don't understand being a police officer and the sheriff troubles you. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to, there's no sense in me continuing arguing with you. There's a big difference. Are you saying there's a big difference in a police officer and a sheriff? No, I've been both. Or I mean, I've been a deputy and a police officer. Yeah, there's no difference. So I don't, literally no difference as far as the job they do. No, I'm not a private investigator. I was in law enforcement for 17 years, almost 18 years. But I mean, again, if you think there's a huge difference in a police officer and sheriff, then yeah, we're way off here. As far as the job that they do daily, there's no difference. I wasn't elected. I was a deputy. I've been a deputy, and then I've been a police officer. But I spent most of my career in investigations. $13 years out of the 17, I was in investigations. But I mean, I've truly never had an argument like that before about age. Like it's. I think there's a huge difference. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I think there's a huge difference. Is Jason a police officer? Again, if you think there's a big difference in being I don't know. Okay, well, I got to move on here. I think we're boring everybody else. But anyway. Nick Smith's mother posted on Facebook she was never voting again. William is saying it's going to be a runoff. Let me see if I can get, and I trust him. I was trying to find the official results. It looks like they have called it. Okay, here it is. So close. Jason, 5,903 votes. Poe, 4,930. And Nick ended with 3,100. So me see. Yeah. Yeah, William was right. Definitely a runoff. So we're going to have a runoff. And again, that'll be June the 16th. So just next month. The runoff will be between J.C. Poe and Jason Akins. So either way, Walker County has won because Nick Smith is gone. What did you Gloria? If you asked me something about APO certification, no, I missed that. What did you ask about it? Kevin said the only difference is deputies are servants of the court and maintain the jails, secures the court, and serves paperwork. Unless you're in Walker County, Nick Smith. So what Kevin's saying is definitely correct. By law, that is the sheriff's responsibilities. By law, the two things the sheriff is responsible for in Alabama are the courts and the jails. Those are the two things that Nick Smith doesn't do anything with. Those are two things he's the worst at. That's what's so crazy about it. He's off trying to create a rehab versus what he's actually supposed to be, what he was elected to do. But yeah, no, I mean, either way, Walker County has won tonight. I will sleep very good tonight. And I know all of Walker County will too. I had a lot of confidence that this was how it would go, and I'm very glad this is how it went. As I've said from the beginning, there are tons of great people in Walker County. I've met a lot of them. I mean, some I consider really, really close friends now, and there's so many amazing people there, and they deserve better. And finally, they have spoken and got rid of the main problem. Again, still have a ways to go there. There's still, like, this is the beginning though, and this is a good start. Runoff is if you have at least 3 people in a primary election, and this is for Alabama. Some states are different the way they do it, but for Alabama, if you have more than 3 people running in the election in a primary election, and the person that gets the most votes doesn't get at least 50% of those votes, then the top 2 whoever come in second will have a runoff with that number one spot in a separate election, and that election will happen in June the 16th. And Cam Hunt is the new sheriff in Lee County. How did Nick Smith put 70,000 plus into this campaign? No way people sponsor him like that. Oh, there's some big money, and that's very troubling. And we're looking into some of those right now. His biggest donors. It's very troubling that they would give that much money to try to keep him in office with everything going on. That just doesn't make sense. So it tells you there's something going on there with why some of these big donors wanted him in office so bad. But it's very sketchy that Nick Smith spent over 80% of his campaign budget in Coleman County. That's kind of sketchy. You're exactly right, Andy. Andy said certain people pay well to have someone that will do as they request, and that's the problem. But yeah, over 80% of his campaign funds were spent in Coleman County. It's strange. And now, again, we're going to dig. I don't know if we'll find anything. And it may. One thing you got to keep in mind with Nick Smith, it could always end up to where it's just he's not very smart. Like, he's not that intelligent. And that's just the truth. That's not me dog. I mean, that's just he is not that intelligent. So it could be something as simple as he's just an idiot and didn't understand things. I mean, we've seen some of his campaign commercials. Some of the he missed his whoever made some of his campaign commercials missed their calling and would be making a lot more money writing for Saturday Night Live, because some of his campaign commercials were way better than any Saturday Night Live skit. I mean, they made no sense. It's like, what the hell did I just watch? Had the woman from the Australian woman, and then he had Michael, who the Michael Orr thing. God, that was funny. Yeah, Jason Akins spent by far the least amount of money in this as of last week. Like, here it is. This was as of last week. Jason Akins had spent $4,400. Nick Smith had spent $75,600. And J.C. Poe spent $44,000. I mean, that's crazy. And Jason Akins has the most votes. But this right here is exactly why I'm very confident Jason Akins wins the runoff. But you're gonna have to go vote. I mean, we're gonna have to get you to the polls, because that's the hardest thing about a runoff. anybody that's worked in campaigns in the hardest thing about a runoff is getting people to actually go vote. If you can get people to go vote, then your candidate will win. If you can't, then it's a toss-up. So people will have to do everything we can to make sure we actually get people to the polls to vote in the runoff. But again, at the end of the day, either way, that county has spoken, and they're done with Nick Smith, and that says a lot. I'm not a math whiz. What is the difference in? Let's see, 70. My calculator go. So Nick Smith spent almost 18 times more the amount of money than Jason Akins. So, well, actually closer to 7. We'll round it down to 17. He spent 17 times more money than Jason Akins. That's a big difference. And again, most of the money that Nick Smith spent was in Coleman County. It wasn't even in Walker County. What's up, Priscilla? I've never heard of Kool and the Gang, Christy. Let's see, what percentage of the votes did he end up with? Let's see. Yes, he ended up with 22% of the vote. Spent literally 17 times more than J.C. Poe, and ended up with 22% of the vote. And who are the? This always kills me. Who are these 145 people that still voted for Alan Estelle, even though he dropped out of the race? Like, that's people that literally they don't even have TV. Yeah, 145 people voted for Alan Estelle, and he dropped out of the race. But he dropped out so late, obviously his name was still on the ballot. JJ going to be out of a job. Hey, there's a few that better be out of a job, or we're going to be calling the next sheriff out, whoever it is. But yeah, no, JJ, they got to get rid of him. Now, before anybody says, I understand they can't just fire who they want to because they have a civil service board. Trust me, if you can't find a good reason to fire JJ, I question your intelligence. Vicky, you may be right. Some of the Estelle votes may have been mail-in votes. Definitely could be right. Oh, wow. So Kevin did the math. Nick Smith spent approximately $23 per vote. That is not a good ROI there. Wow. And Aiken spent about $1 per vote. Actually, less than $1. That's a good point. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, Aiken spent less than $1 per vote, and Nick Smith spent $23 per vote. But yeah, that's the thing. Most of them, yeah, you can't just walk in there and fire whoever because of civil service. But most of those, like it will not be hard at all to have a legit reason to cut them loose. Ralph Williams for sure. He's gone. I mean, he's going to lose his A post as well. So that's a no-brainer. And I don't know how. So Ralph Williams is the chief deputy, and different sheriff's offices do this differently. So I don't know how exactly they do their chief deputy. But for most counties, the chief deputy it's like an appointed spot too. So if the sheriff leaves, then the chief deputy's out of a job. Now it depends on how they did it. If they did it to where he's still civil service protected, but some places the chief deputy would not be civil service protected. Again, there's certain ways you can do it, but either way, I mean, they're surely anybody would get rid of him. Yeah, I mean, he definitely wouldn't be the new chief deputy, like the new sheriff. Like Ralph Williams definitely wouldn't still be the chief deputy, but some sheriff's offices, the way they do it, like the chief deputy will be, as far as civil service, and on paper they'll be a lieutenant or a captain. So if a new sheriff comes in, they would not be the chief deputy anymore, but they would still be captain or lieutenant or whatever they made them. But again, I don't have a clue how they do it there, but it's not going to be hard to get rid of him. I can send them I can send whoever evidence of. I've got more than enough evidence on Ralph Williams that anybody would fire him. Trust me, and I can send it to them. Like good evidence, no question about it. Yeah, like Kevin said, most chief deputies aren't protected under civil service. And Nick Smith being so against civil service, there is no way. And if any of you are in law enforcement, younger, or wanting to get in law enforcement, never go to work at a sheriff's office that doesn't have a civil service board. Like under no circumstance. You do not want to do that because you literally have no job protection whatsoever. And that's crazy. When I was in academy, and this was 2007, we had a Fayette County deputy. I think it was Fayette. Don't quote me on this, but I think it was a Fayette County deputy in our class. And they had a new sheriff win, and they weren't civil service. And that new sheriff back at that time literally cleaned house. He fired every single deputy overnight. And we were like halfway through academy, and that poor guy just had to go home. He didn't get to finish. Yeah, hopefully you do, Aaron. Yeah, Kevin, that's what I said. It's strange that he's the first, and I'm not saying it's not happened before, but Nick Smith is the first sheriff I've ever seen like that be that against the Civil Service Board. I've never seen that before. Grabbing my popcorn for the upcoming It Was an Honor to Serve. And it's a shame you simpletons didn't appreciate how I ran the office. No, it's going to be Amber's fault, my fault, Michael Fleming's fault. We told all these lies, and it was just a political, just all political. He was the best guy for office, but us spreading lies about him got him beat. You know that's what he's going to say. But some things that will have to happen immediately, no matter which one of them get in office. And again, J.C. Poe, I liked all of his answers in the debate. He's intelligent. Now, I don't know him personally, nothing like that, but you could tell he knows what he's talking about. But either one of them, this literally physically taking inmates out of jail every Sunday and taking them to a church, that is crazy. And that's done. They can have church in the jail like every other county jail does. Way too much liability, way too dangerous. So that's got to stop. The trying to be a rehab center instead of a sheriff's office, that's not what a sheriff's office is for. Now, I'm all for trying to rehab addicts. I'll stand behind that any day. That is not the job of the sheriff's office. They have other things they have to be doing. That is not the job of the sheriff's office. Again, by law, the two jobs of the sheriff's office is protect the courts and run the jail and protect the inmates in the jail. The two things Nick Smith was horrible at. So he's out running a rehab thing when he's got an inmate literally getting tortured and frozen to death. This stuff blows my mind. It blows my mind that it's like he didn't have a clue of what his actual job was. Yeah, have a service at the jail. Yeah, don't go. Don't some of you take me wrong when I said that about the church. I'm all for them being able to worship and them having church in jail. But again, like Kevin just said, they can have church inside the jail like every other county jail in this state does. And I'm all for that. But physically removing inmates from jail on a Sunday and taking them to a church, that's nuts. Yeah, if putting the community at risk was a person, it's crazy. And again, I guarantee you, I would bet everything that's how 90% of all the illegal contraband was getting into the jail, was through those people that was going to the church. I used to go minister at jails. They don't need to leave. Yeah, I mean, there's always churches and organizations and volunteers that come to the jails and do services and stuff. And again, I'm all for that. But another thing, you it's down out illegal, because if you do that and you have a Muslim that wants to go to their service, you would have to take the Muslim to their service. It can't be one way. Like, that is literally what the church and state. That's what that is about. Because if you're an inmate, you're not free to leave. And Nick Smith is taking you to a church service. It's he's forcing you to go to a church service, and you may be Muslim. Now, I know people were saying, well, they all volunteered. Well, yeah, they all want to get out of jail for a day, for a couple hours. Everybody's going to volunteer for that. But if you look at it the way that I'm looking at it, that is, the separation of church and state is not there in that instance, and it's illegal. I mean, he was literally violating numerous people's rights. And you can't do that. Again, I'm Christian, so yeah, I wish all of them went to a Christian church, but that's not the way it can be. So you can't take some people to a Christian church and then deny other religions from taking them to their places. You can't do that. You're 6 years clean. That's awesome. Congratulations, Krista. That's really awesome. That is really awesome. But yeah, if you're a jail that offers the Bible to your inmates, you have to offer the Quran as well. Like that's federal law. There's no way around that. And all that's going to do is cost your county a lot more money when you get sued. I don't know exactly how they were transported, Denise. Somebody on here may can answer that. I don't know exactly. That's a good question, though. Am I saying they passed around more than an offering plate? Yes, absolutely. Well, Nancy, that's the bad part as far as Tony Mitchell Medical was there. And I'm not going to speak any further on that right now because all that's still in court, and I don't want to say anything that would, number one, cause me to be a witness in federal court. Number two, that would screw anything up with that. But medical was there. And once the Tony Mitchell stuff is completely clear and done, then we can talk about it. I just can't right now. Separation of church and state was to ensure that the church didn't run the government like it was over the pond. Well, it's yes, but at the same time, it was just as much that the government couldn't tell you what religion to be. You know, like right now, if you go to, I mean, there's a lot of countries, but if you go to Afghanistan, you're not allowed to be a Christian. Like, literally, they will execute you. And again, unfortunately, there's other countries like that. So, but yeah, on both sides of that. But yeah, here we have freedom of religion, and so the government can't have any say in what religion you are, no matter if you're an inmate or not. They can't tell you what religion to be or what religion you can't be. Facebook has lost me again. I just look up and I see the comment, cool. What about the red Teletubby? What are y'all talking about? Oh, what's up, Jenny on YT? I just caught your comment. I didn't see you a while ago. I wasn't ignoring you though. Priscilla said Nick Smith has been weighed, measured, and divorced. The people have spoken. Oh, that's what y'all call him? The red Teletubby. No, that guy. We're talking about Jamel Brown, one of the Democrat candidates running for governor of Alabama. Which, I mean, it was literally an all-out joke. Like, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Now he's serious, but it's a joke. But that's what we were talking about earlier. Let me see. Let's see how many votes he got now. He has now. It's very troubling that he had as many votes as he did. So update quickly here. Let me make sure this is refreshed. So quick update on the Senate race. We're at 62% in, and it is still neck and neck between Jared Hudson and Steve Marshall. So now Barry Moore is ahead. Barry Moore's going to take the election as far as have the most votes, but it's going to be very close to determine if there's going to be a runoff. Because Barry Moore's at 40% right now, so this is going to come down, and then it's just going to be between, as far as who gets in the runoff, between Marshall and Hudson, and that is, again, they're neck and neck. They're still less than a percentage, 1% difference. Now, so far, Hudson has taken quite a few more counties than Marshall. That's why I have hope that he ends up taking all those counties completely. And if he does, he'll be second. But it's going to be close. I highly doubt we know the results tonight. I highly doubt that's. as far as the runoff and stuff. We probably won't find out tonight. Yeah, Jamel was going to make Montgomery a strip club city again. So, yeah, big news of the night. Nick Smith's done. So, no, I didn't freeze up. I was texting. That's what the lava lamp's for. So you can look at it, and if it's not moving, then it's frozen. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Have you been in here? I didn't see you. Somebody was Clark County what Tanya was talking about? That was the county she was talking about too, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm going to get with her and see what all is going on in Clark County because people keep bringing it up. So we need to look into that. And yeah, so the runoff there as far as Walker County, there will be a runoff between Jason Eakins and J.C. Poe, and that'll be June the 16th. So just a little under a month from now. Yeah, so I can't believe Alan Estelle was at. What was he doing at that watch party? Where can I get one of those shirts? It's a sore subject around here with me and my team. No, we have been working on merch for 6 months now, and it keeps on falling through. But We are literally, our website is getting built right now, so we're going to have a full website. And once we get that up and going, we will have merch up and going on there too. And that's going to be soon. We're trying to get that out, but we're going to have a lot of stuff on the website. I'm very excited about it. What's up, Logan? But I think Aikens will win the runoff. I really do. So that's what was Estelle's reasoning for being at that watch party? Did you ask him? Like, what was he doing there? What did he say? Because 2 weeks ago he was at Nick Smith's campaign party, literally dogging Jason Aikens, talking about how he almost cost him his job, which I don't believe any of that mess. It doesn't make sense. So I'm very confused. Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, Kevin. Yeah, Kevin's exactly right. That's the most important thing about the runoff is actually getting your voters to the polls. If you can get them to the polls, then you'll win easily. But if you don't, it's a toss-up. It is hard to get people to the polls in a runoff. Very hard. It's a nightmare. What are my thoughts on Trump not endorsing Jared Hudson? Well, I wasn't happy about it. And, I mean, in no way do I agree with everything Trump does or says. And that was definitely one thing it pissed me off. Barry Moore is part of the establishment. I mean, he is the establishment. And so it pissed me off when Trump endorsed him instead of Jared Hudson, who is not. And so it definitely goes against some of the things that Trump has said and goes against some of the things Trump has done. So I don't know. But it pissed me off. And that's the reason Barry Moore's winning so much. Like, that's all it takes. If you get that endorsement, it's going to be hard to beat you. And it pisses me off. But also, I've been pissed off at no one. They are keeping it extremely quiet of why did Tommy Tuberville get kicked out of D.C.? Like, something happened there. And they're keeping that locked up. And we deserve to know. The citizens of Alabama deserve to know what happened there, because he's going to be our next governor now. So we deserve to know what happened, because trust me, no matter what anybody ever tells you, no one is choosing to be a governor over a senator. That's not happening. Like, night and day difference there. That no one is doing it. He did. Tommy Tuberville did not leave the Senate willingly. Like, trust me on that. He was given an ultimatum. And that worries me. And it pisses me off because I like Katie Britt. I do. Now, I don't agree with every single thing she says, but I like her. And for the most part, well, I trust her as much as I'm going to trust a politician. I'll say that. But the fact that they're not letting it leak at all of what happened, it pisses me off, keeping us in the dark over that. And Kevin, you may be right there. That is a possibility. Kevin said DC was just above Tommy said. It is possible that he just wasn't intelligent enough to make it. So, and that could be it. That's why he's like, look, you got to get out of here. You want to go be governor or nothing. And so he chose to be governor because that's how it happened. I mean, whoever they picked to run, the Republican to run for governor is who's going to be the governor of Alabama. And so it's literally that. So it could be that. But again, I just wish they would tell us. We should know. Walker County, Nick Smith is out. There will be a runoff between Jason Akins and J.C. Poe June the 16th. Yes, that's a good thing. Yeah, the most important thing as far as Walker County was getting rid of Nick Smith. That was by far the most important. So either way, Walker County won tonight. I'm going to be petty for a second, just because. In the job I currently have, I can be petty. I've never had a job where I could be petty. So I'm going to bring up Nick Smith's statement he has just put out, and we're going to make fun of it. I just think that's the right thing for us to do. By the way, hold on, I got to pull this up. Have y'all noticed that they have gone back and added this cowboy hat to a lot of Nick Smith's campaign pictures? Like it wasn't, you can tell the hat was digitally added. Have y'all noticed that? That has been owning me in some of his pictures. We'll look at some of those too. I don't know why they keep doing that. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. All right. And you may have to go to his actual page and where you can see it better, but the cowboy hat wasn't there originally. And this one is the worst. Hold on, clicking on the wrong thing there. Like You can plainly tell that this was added digitally. Like they didn't even do a good job at look at that picture. It's comical. Like they didn't even do a good job at adding it digitally, and they just, what in the world is going on here? Like, is that why he lost? Because they added the cowboy hat? But when I saw that the other day, I about fell out of my seat. And I meant to bring that up, and I kept forgetting. I'm sure a lot of you have noticed it because it's again, it stands out. It's like, what in the world? Yes, Kevin is right. It showed up like 3 days ago in an actual ad, and they've added it via AI to all his previous campaign pictures. It doesn't make any like. So and this is my guess, and I'm probably spot on. He spent a crap ton of money on a new campaign advisor just recently. And this is the idea they came up with, that God knows how much money he paid for them to come in and fix his election, and this was their idea. Hey, let's get AI to add a freaking cowboy hat in all your pictures. That'll do it. That's what you're missing. I've never, again, his campaign has been so comical. You can't even make this stuff up. It's just been so comical. Oh, they didn't add a hat there. Oh, that's solid entertainment. I don't want to show that. I'm not going to have his kids in there. They can't help who their crazy, corrupt dad is. All right, here's what we're here for. Let's see. The polls have closed. I want to thank the people of Walker County for your support over the years. You all have loved my family. I don't think that's true. You all have loved my family and I through some of the hardest times, and I will forever be grateful for that. We're sorry, Nick, that you had such a hard time. Now, we know you had a lot harder time than Tony Mitchell and Tony Mitchell's family and Eric Cates' family and Eric Cates. Like, we know you've had a really much rougher time than Maxine Bieberbach's family. We understand. And it's just, you had some hard times in there, Nick. You sure did. It's been hard times for you, Mr. Victim. I will always hold the honor of serving as your sheriff in very high regard. Through ups and downs, I don't think there were any ups. We fought through it all. To the employees of the WCSO, thank you for the countless hours you have all dedicated to carrying out my vision for the WCSO and our county. I truly will always love and cherish each of you, and I am proud of the growth and effort you all have shown over my tenure. What's left? What is he talking about? The ones that didn't get federally indicted, or is he talking about the ones that got federally indicted? Is that who's helped him grow and carrying out his vision? So he's saying they carried out his vision for the Walker County Sheriff's Office. That's That's very sad. Did y'all just do that? Hold on, y'all got to see this. This is awesome. I await the results eagerly. And oh, this is not. So he made this before it was official. So he hasn't made his official. I've been beat post. All right, hold on. I got to show y'all this. My team just did this, and it's pretty solid. Where did it go? So we have that picture, and then if there was any, I'll say this: if there was any question of did they just AI that? Absolutely, they did, and I'm about to prove it to you. Where's my Discord? I mean, I sent it on Discord. I just can't find Discord on my monitors. Here we go. Oh, this is hilarious. You are not ready for what you're about to see. So, yeah, my team just did that with AI. So, I'm impressed. They found the exact, like it's the exact hat. Oh, that's funny. It is just killing me that again that they paid. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. That's same hat. Exact same hat in his real pictures. Oh, that's funny. Is that all of them? Same hat. This one was the worst one though that he put out. Like they must have found some cheap AI to do that. I really want to post this, but I'm not. I really do want to, though. Oh, I've got an idea. I'm going to post it. It's a real picture. He's had that hat since he took office. I am posting that. I'm posting this one when I make a post about him losing. That's funny. All right. Will he shred documents and wipe computers? There's probably not even any documents for him to shred. It's one of their problems. They don't believe in paperwork there. Reports and stuff. But yeah, I mean, no, I wouldn't be surprised at all. So Jared Hudson's race, that Senate race, is going to come down to whether there's going to be a runoff or not. Barry Moore is going to have the most votes, but so Hudson has pulled ahead of Steve Marshall. So we just got to hope. Yes, it's looking good for a runoff. So Jared Hudson has pulled ahead we're at almost 90% in, and Jared Hudson has pulled ahead of Steve Marshall, and Barry Moore is only at 39% of the votes. So we're not there yet, but it is definitely looking better for a runoff between Hudson and Barry Moore. It's going to be a hard race to win, but I'll take it. So because if we can get, again, the runoffs, like Kevin was saying, it's all down to how many people can you get to the polls and actually vote. Now, Jared Hudson is a great man. So yeah, it's looking pretty good right now that there'll be a runoff. Yeah, Hudson's taken a lot more counties than Marshall. And I'll be honest, Marshall was the last person I wanted to win, so I do feel good since he didn't win. It looks like Hudson's got a good chance of taking Jefferson County by a decent amount. That'll be big. It looks like he may take Tuscaloosa County and Jefferson County, so that's two big counties. He's definitely taking Hudson. Hudson has won Shelby County for sure, so that's three big counties. So I mean, like I said, if we can just get in the runoff, which as of right now it's looking pretty good, then we got a chance. Our boy Odell Dees, he got 2.1% of the votes. Some of his people truly thought he was going to win. That's scary. Like you got to live in reality sometimes, no matter how much you like somebody. But it is still close between Steve Marshall and Hudson. Now, Hudson's up, but it's a tight race. But I do think it'll end up. I feel extremely confident there's definitely will be a runoff there. So we just need Jared to beat Marshall, and that's again, it's looking pretty good right now. We'll just have to see. God, the voter turnout for Montgomery County is horrible. Like for Montgomery County, Jason Akins got more votes in Walker County than Barry Moore got in Montgomery County, and he won the county. My God. People just won't go vote. It's looking good. I think this election also got a lot of young voters involved and hopefully educated. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, AG. Yeah, let's check that one out. Yeah, Casey's out. Casey's not going to be. Casey won't even make a runoff if there's one in the AG. Pamela Casey's. She's done. Catherine Robertson is leading by. Catherine Robertson's going to have the most votes, but it may end up being a runoff between Jay Mitchell and Robinson. It's looking like it probably will be. So I think there'll be a runoff between Robertson and Mitchell in that. But yeah, Casey's out. The only two counties that Casey won was Blount County, that's where she was from, right? And Covington County. Two very small counties. But I thought she would do a little better than she did. But I have confidence in Robertson. I've heard some good things. Oh, absolutely, Tanya. If some of you caught my live one night when I told more than I should have about some things with Steve Marshall. Public Service Commission. Let me see. Oh, it looks like Gentry's taking that one by far, all out. Yeah, Gentry's won the Public Service Commission. So that's good. He's a good guy. Yeah, he won that one outright. I don't even think there will be a runoff in that one. Yeah, so he ousted the incumbent. Looks like by a pretty good bit. Looks like there will be the lieutenant governor. There will be a runoff between John Wall and Wes Allen. It's a pretty close race between them two. So yeah, there'll definitely be a runoff between them. I haven't kept up with this race at all, but if anybody was wondering, Caroline Dobson will be the new Secretary of State. She won by a lot. She's going to have almost 70% of the votes. She won every single county. And for House District, see, Mike Rogers took District 3 by a lot. Adderholt, District 4, of course, by a lot. It's going to come out down to the wire between Hudson and Marshall and who gets in the runoff. right now, with 89% of the precincts in, Hudson is at 118,575, and Marshall is at 117,066. That is very close. But the reason I think Hudson will end up taking it is because he's leading really big in Jefferson County right now, which is one of the largest counties. And there's only 46% of the votes in. So if he keeps leading Jefferson County like that, which I think he probably will, then he should beat Marshall out. And so it should be Hudson and Moore. Did I see where Albert Turner Jr. got voted out in Perry County? No, I didn't see that. That is shocking, though. Yeah, because he's been in a long time. Yeah, governor is Tuberville by far. And yeah, Matt Gentry won. He won big. All right, I got a very early morning tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to run. But I've enjoyed this. This was exactly like I wanted it to be. Very laid back. We had fun, and we got Nick Smith out of office, and that was by far number one top priority. So we did that. So it's a good night. Hopefully Hudson pulls it out over Marshall and gets in the runoff for the Senate. But like I said, the most important by far was getting rid of Nick Smith, and Walker County did that, thankfully. But I appreciate each and every one of you for being on here. If you're not following, please hit the follow button. I really appreciate that. And you can catch my full podcast. I do a full podcast. You can catch that on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find me anywhere under Agent D Baker. So go check those out. Make sure you check my full podcast out. If you are not following me on YouTube, I'd really appreciate that, or subscribing, whatever. We're trying to build that up, and so if you're on YouTube, please go and subscribe to my channel on there, Agent D Baker. And again, that's also a place where you can find my full podcast. But I probably won't be live anymore this week because I got some stuff coming up. Maybe a vacation. So I probably won't be live again this week, but I may put out a few short videos and make a few posts and stuff. But we'll see. I'll just see how it goes. But I appreciate all of you. And if I don't see you the rest of this week. I will be back Monday night at 8 p.m. Central. So make sure you catch me, and I'm always live on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Welcome to Truth Recon. I'm Agent D. Baker, former narcotics detective, SWAT team member, and U.S. Navy combat veteran. With years of real-world experience in high-stakes environments, I've seen firsthand the dangers that lurk both in our communities and now increasingly online. Before this show begins, understand this. What you are about to hear may be disturbing to some audiences. This podcast contains explicit language, dark themes, and real conversations that are not suitable for children and may be triggering for some individuals. If you choose to continue, do so knowing this content is intended for mature audiences only. Discretion is advised. So that's exactly what they did. My God, the exact same hat. Like it's the exact same hat.